Welcome, dear friends. We are happy to welcome you today in our interview within the project Creative Society. And we have today an amazing guest. It is His Excellency Mr. Michio Harada. We are happy to welcome you. Mr. Harada is a Consul-General of Japan in India, in Mumbai. Thank you very much for being with us today in this interview.
Of course.
Mr. Harada, it was a big honor to meet you on the RISE World Summit. And I remember your key words when you said that we can make together the world a better place for everyone. And indeed, right now, our interview it's being conducted on a platform of Allatra and within the project Creative Society that united people across the globe in more than 180 countries, where people uniting and discussing the model of society where people live in peace, in harmony, in respect with each other. And we are sharing these opinions on our platform, and we would like to hear your personal opinion. In what kind of world you and your family would like to live in? Could you please describe this world?
Well, I think it's a very, very difficult question. I think every country, people across the border have very, very different, I think, desires and then goals and then their needs. Some are very, very living in a poor condition. Some people don't have enough to eat. Some people have too much money. They don't know how to spend it. So in the world, there is a huge sort of gap between the poor and the rich. And I think there are many countries which is in terms of economic well-beings, in better condition and then in worse condition. I think I lived in Israel, working there for about 3 years. I have witnessed difficult times between Israel and the neighboring countries. Rocket from Gaza flying for 2 months, and but right there I discovered that the people in Israel, Jewish people, and then people in Palestine, they could probably have the same basic goals, same desire as a human being, and desire to live well and be together with the family. The way that we approach issues between the nations differs, but I think basic fundamental values and then the importance of dialogue are probably everywhere the same. But I think we need to create the environment for many people to live in a basic needs met, and then some water and food to support yourself and your family. And otherwise, you talk about creative society. I think it's useless thing unless you have basic needs met and then some comfortableness as a human being to live your life. So I think meeting basic needs is crucial, and living in a secure environment is, of course, very, very crucial. And I have witnessed, I lived in Ukraine, Kiev, then seen the war between Russia and Ukraine. I have experienced many sort of conflict areas in my diplomatic service. So So certainly seen the very difficult side of this conflict, but also some way out, that if we decide to make the people's live in a better condition. So
thank you very much, Mr. Harada. Thank you for sharing. You raised very important topics, and we understand very well that if we want to build a creative society, a society there we all live happily and prosperously, there is so much work to be done for us, people of this world. As a society, it's a big responsibility nowadays on every member of our society. It's the time then we could put responsibility on someone else is over, and today we are really living in the conditions. Then it's time for every member of society to participate. But we understand very well that in order to make these important changes which you mentioned, we should unite. And today we live in the world where we are very much divided. We are divided into races, nationalities. We are divided into different groups of people. But in order really to make important changes, we should unite. We should overcome all diversities which we have. Could you please share your opinion with a huge experience in their diplomacy? What are those pillars which could unite people, and what unites all of us? What unites all people despite differences in nationalities, races, religions? What unites all of us?
this is very not easy. I think, in my opinion, the some personal bond that binds together people. It doesn't apply to the countries sometimes, nations, because people tend to get united once you have the bond. You have same goals to achieve, but the countries, as you look at, it's not always easy, because there are so many players in government and military, and then the now NGO has been very becoming more and more influential, and journalists, press, and so on. So I think if you think about people being united and then countries being united, I think, in my view, they're very different. You need to think differently. But I totally agree that there are so many divisions now in present world, and then we need to narrow those differences, or just the need to know how to really cope with those divisions, and then different opinions. I think important thing I learned from my diplomatic service is that you need to really put yourself in others' shoes, because I think we all individuals, human beings, tend to look at yourself and then look at your interest, your needs. But at the same time, you need to see from your enemy's perspectives, or the other person's perspectives, what the other person, if you are him or her, would think. So to a certain degree, it applies to nations, but nations are more complex than human beings, in my opinion. So, and then human beings, you have probably easy to deal with, but as a nation, it's more difficult to deal with. That's my experience. So
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing your experience because it is very valuable. And indeed, people across the globe on the Project Creative Society discussing such a model where the human life has the more important value and the most priority. And we would like to hear your opinion. How do you see these changes in the world, the positive changes? Where should they start? And what can a simple man or woman do about it? How to contribute to this positive change?
Well, I think if you look back the history of human beings and then the society, I think we have gone through a tremendous sort of advancement, and now I can talk with you too through this internet Zoom meeting. And before, or when I was born, there was no phone available, and people are not having the mobile phone for yourself. And now the vast majority of the world in countries have, mobile phone. Then they can communicate without paying too much telephone bills nowadays. So certainly, I think advancement of technology and then the advancement of medicine and the has brought tremendous comfort to our society. But at the same time, I think if you look at young kids don't spend time with parents. They spend more time with the iPad in many countries. So dialogue or communication between parents and kids are diminishing. So before, kids didn't have any iPhone, so they are always communicating with the parents and then kids, but they are closing themselves within the very very small iPad world, or that's how I see. Even if you are in a trains in Japan, they don't care about others. They only look at your mobile phone, and then they don't care whether old ladies or old men are standing, and then the kids are sitting in subway trains, and then they don't really let those elder people sit on the sofa. So it's some are good, some are bad. I think it's you need to really see not only the positive side but also the negative side too. So being creative is, of course, creative people made the advancement of technology a lot of benefits for the world. But at the same time, those advanced technology or advanced meant doesn't mean that we are very happy. Its happiness doesn't come with the money. Happiness doesn't come with the advanced that how many cars you have, how many iPhones you have, or how many bottles of wine you have in your wine cellar. It doesn't mean that you are very happy and then content. So
Mm. Thank you very much. So many topics, and each of them is very much important. And talking about happiness, thank you for mentioning it. That we, after conducting millions of social surveys and interviews, what is the most common answer? How people envision a creative and constructive society? They envision it as a society where everyone is happy. And happiness is not an easy answer, as you mentioned, how to achieve happiness. And what you mentioned previously is the importance for humanity to be united by the same goal. And such a common goal could become for us a format of the society, a model of the society, which we call creative and constructive society, which is human-oriented society. There is nothing above a human life. And of course, if we imagine such a society, there human life is the biggest value, the most valuable, then all the spheres of our life by implementation of this important pillar can change, and the technology can become an amazing tool which will unite people and will help specialists from different countries to unite and to really practically build a creative society. That means create conditions there. We will live in equality and equity from the point of view that people will not need to struggle for necessary food or water or staying unemployed for years. And of course, we envision a creative society as a society without violence, because not a single act of violence can be tolerated in the creative society if we say that human life is the most valuable thing. And I would like to ask you here, how do you envision the role of diplomacy in helping people to build such a society?
Diplomacy. Well, that's I'm going to finish my diplomatic service soon, but I think diplomacy is the way to prevent war through peaceful means. So avoid nation and nation fighting each other, because Japan has gone through a very, very challenging times, as you know, and then we really invaded into China, and then Korean Peninsula, Southeast Asia. We lost the war, and then we lost many lives. So as many countries like America and then other allied powers lost many lives, because war it means losing personal lives, you know, whether Japan or America or China. It's, if you start war, you lose millions of people. So diplomacy is the means, in my opinion, to prevent war between the nations. And then I think that's one. And then also trying to make other nations people to understand how, in case of Japan, how we think, and then how we act, and then how we value the way things are. So I think diplomacy is not easy. We don't always succeed. We fail many times, but that's what, in my opinion, is the reason for diplomacy exists. Military is another thing. Military is to defeat the enemies, to defeat the adversary, or to protect the nation's people's lives against the others. So I think that's the way how I see. So
thank you very much. Also, thank you for your experience, because the peace is now one of the fundamental aspects and conditions for a happy life. Without peace, there is no happiness and security. So, and the idea of building a creative society, a world of peace and harmony, inspiring people across the globe, because they start to act and also understand how important is everyone in this our common goal. So I would like to hear your opinion how important it is today, to have such initiative that would unite all people across the globe. So how important it is for the whole world today.
I think the creating society. I think in the beginning, I think people needs to meet their basic needs, and then of course, basic water, food, and then, as I said, not violent environment. And if you are really under threat, missile overthrowing, you just cannot be creative, or you just need to survive. And I think creative society base is very important. So basic needs to met, but I think once those needs met, I think you need to be content with whatever you do, whoever you are, because I see in Japan and then in other countries, people get very jealous about others. Those who don't have enough get jealous about those who have a lot. But I think important thing is to be content in your whoever you are, whatever you do, and then don't get too much jealous. And then I get criticized by many many people. Harada-san, why you are doing this, and then why you are so or doing new things? You don't need to do this kind of thing. But I think to make creative society, it needs people accepting the people making a creative things or new things, the open to new ideas, open to new cultures, and don't get too much jealous. And then more accommodating the others, respect others, values, and then the personalities,
Yes, I agree absolutely. And you mentioned several times today and attracted the attention of our viewers that the creative and constructive society can be built, then the basic needs of people are covered. And that's a crucial pillar. It's an important pillar of building such a society. And also living in the world of today, it's a time when adult and mature people, they understand the vital necessity of changing the format of our society, protecting human life, and finally to grow up, to behave as adults, and really to do what we have to do as humans, as humanity, in order to make that evolutionary step towards the next stage of our development. And thank you so much for being with us today, for sharing your opinion. And we have last question to ask you. During all these years and all the contribution which you made for the humanity, what inspired you during all this time in your work the most, and what is still inspiring you to continue to do what you do?
I don't know whether I have done a good work or not, but I always enjoy meeting different people, listening to how people feels, how people think, and then what people value. I'm the very, very positive person. I enjoy life in a happy way, and then meeting very interesting people. So I don't know. I enjoy throwing parties, and then, but I think meeting a different people and understands how people live and then what people enjoy. I think it's a very important thing for me, at least. Some people don't care about what others are living or have other people are doing, but I do want to share interesting moments with the other people, and then that's why I like throwing a parties. So
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your kindness and inspiration, for your valuable work, because it is so important today, and it's an amazing example for everyone there where we can learn from each other. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. Harada. We wish you all the best for your work, and we are happy for your contribution into the world that would be make everyone happy.
no,
Thank you.
thank you very much. But just one comment and one question. The one comment is, I think, as I said, I'm going to finish my service soon, but I try to be in the private sector, do something for the society, for the country I come from. So that's my basic philosophy, and of course, people's lives comes important mission for me. Being diplomat, Japanese diplomat, important mission is to protect our nationals' lives and property. So that has been my belief in my diplomatic service. But even after that, I think this doesn't apply to Japanese. But I want to be more doing something good for the rest of the world, and then of course my country. Question is, which country are you originally from, both of you?
I'm originally from Russia. So this is most western part of Russia, the city Kaliningrad. But I live,
Okay.
and I live currently in Berlin.
You are working in Berlin. Okay. You have been to Japan?
Not yet, but I'm so inspired. I would like to.
You should
Because
go.
we know, because also this project, Mr. Harada, is being conducted in Japan too. And we have such amazing people on our live broadcast that we would like also to meet them one day. But today we meeting people online, and we are happy to proceed these conversations in Japanese.
Oh, really?
Japanese. Yes, live broadcast.
Good.
We will be happy also to see you there again, or maybe your friends and family or your colleagues that you could invite to these conversations. But today this contribution is very, very big for us, and we are grateful for it.
Okay. How about
coincidentally, me today, because usually we have very international broadcasts, but coincidentally today, me and Antonina, we are both originally from Russia. Well, now I'm living in the United Arab Emirates. And yes,
Dubai.
Previously I lived in Europe and Switzerland. And yes, I also, traveled a lot and saw different people, and I saw how people live in different countries. And that's why also, understanding everything what is happening around me, it inspired me to join this project, and I knew about this project because for us the biggest motivation is the future of our children, the future of our grandchildren. So, Mr. Harada, we are kindly inviting you to join the Project Creative Society and to become the ambassador of this beautiful project as well. The quicker we inform of all people in the world about this project and explain also why these changes are important and that they should start at all levels of our society, starting from a mindset change, a family change, a small community coming to the level of countries, and finally to the whole world. The quicker we can really make that evolutionary step towards our beautiful future, and we have no other way but to build a creative and constructive society today. Thank you for being with us today.
No. Thank you very much for inviting to this meeting. I think always I believe in the creativeness of mom, but also the very strong role that women played. So I'm very happy to see very beautiful ladies on the other side of the camera, and then hope to see you again soon.
We too, Mr. Harada. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being with us
Bye-bye.
today.